Hi, happy Monday, everybody. So today we make homemade dog food, usually once a week, sometimes twice a week. And I figured why not show you guys the process. So here's what we're making today for Ronnie Boy. What Dwight and I use is the NUWAVE Instapot or Instant Pot. I'm not sure if it's the same as the regular Instapot, but all we've used this for so far is dog food. I've never used it for anything else. So we've had this in the garage for about 5 years and never used it. But a friend of ours from church told us that she makes her homemade dog food in it. So we thought, what a great idea. By the way, are you watching me? Are you ready for some homemade food? Huh? Good boy, Ronnie. So what we're using today is 1 large sweet potato and 2 large carrots. I'm going to use about maybe a half a cup of green beans, a half a cup of green peas, and a half a cup of spinach. 1 cup of brown rice. We either use turkey or a roasted chicken. Today we're using the roasted chicken. It doesn't matter if it's raw or cooked. And beef liver. So we're going to take about 1 piece of beef liver out of here, chop it up, and it goes in there as well. And half a can of this 100% pure pumpkin and some ground turmeric. Normally I add in a tablespoon of coconut oil, but we have run out, so we'll just be using water, which is just as good. So let me get all of this prepped and we'll be back. I saved these clippings as compost for my garden. Slices and then I cut them into quarters. And you can just cut the carrots into small discs. I usually just take 1 piece and then the next will go into the next batch we make. Okay, I washed my gloves, and with a new knife, just on a paper plate, I slice up the liver. I could put it in there whole, but I like to go ahead and slice it. It just Makes it easier to stir once it's all done. So sometimes we use fresh ground turkey. You can go in frozen or unfrozen. And sometimes we use roasted chicken. Today we have roasted chicken. And so I simply just remove the strings, and little by little I'm going to start removing the chicken from the bone, discarding the bones, and keeping the meat. You want to be very careful when you go through the chicken. This is why I like to do it with my hands, because you need to make sure you feel for every single bone. See how tiny some of those bones are? Not only do I go through it this first time, but I'll go through it 2 or 3 times just to make sure that I have all the bones. So you can see I got off just about all that chicken. And look who's down here waiting. He knows what's coming. Every now and then. Good boy, Ronnie. So just go through it with your fingers. I leave it in the bottom that has all the natural chicken juice in it. And that's where I'm going to put my 2 cups of water to pour in. So now we're just going to go through it finally and check for any possibility of bones. So everything is chopped up and ready. Just a rough chop. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything, because the Instant Pot will take care of making everything perfect. So we're going to start in this order with our sweet potatoes and carrots straight into the pot. Followed by your frozen veggies. And you don't have to use all of these. You can just use some of them. Like sometimes we don't always have spinach, or sometimes we don't always have green beans. But we always use the sweet potatoes, carrots, and peas for sure. I rinsed the rice. You don't have to, but I just, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And then just half of a can of pumpkin, and we'll use the other half on the second batch today. Now your protein. Today it's chicken. And the beef liver. I'm going to put the water where the chicken was. 2 cups. And about a 1/4 teaspoon of tumeric. It's as easy as that. To do, at least for ours, is close it and lock it. So we have made sure to close it and lock it, and it tells us that it's locked right here. So we have a choice of meat and stew or poultry. Today we're using poultry, and it sets it for 20 minutes. That's all it needs, and we're going to start it. It'll preheat. And after it preheats, then it starts cooking. So in 20 minutes, it'll let me know that it's ready. And then we're going to release all the steam, and then we let it cool, and then we freeze it. We'll be back when this is done. Ronnie, are you waiting? Would you like a small treat while you're waiting for your supper to be ready? And he gets these just one. Good boy. Was that good? Good boy. The preheating just finished, and now it is automatically sets itself for 20 minutes. And then we'll release the steam and it'll be ready. Okay, so the 20 minutes have come and gone. The Instapot automatically puts it on a warmer, so it's been done for 9 minutes. So I turn it off, and now we release the steam. Before you can open the lid, this little red thing stays up. When all the steam is released, it will lay flat, and then it'll be safe to open. So I'm going to release the steam. When the steam is released, it'll let me know by beeping. The little lid will go down. So once the steam is done, we'll be back to show you what the dog food looks like. So far it's taken 3 minutes. It's just about done. Usually about 4 to 5 minutes, depending on how much water you put in and how much pressure it has in it. Whatever you do, just don't put your face or your hand or anything close to that steam because it is very hot. And never, ever, ever open the lid while this is under pressure, or it will probably blow your hand off, would be my guess. So we're going to watch that little red button right here. When it goes flat, that means all the steam is released. And then I'm going to give a very important piece of information that I learned by accident the second time we used this. Okay, so this is now ready to open. All the steam has been released. Here's the important information. We push this button down to release the steam. I didn't know that it didn't pop back up on its own. So the second time I made dog food, it released steam the entire time, and I burned the dog food. So I realized you have to turn that off, which pushes this back up, and now this is safe to open. Now this is going to look weird. To me, the first time I made dog food, I opened it up and I said, oh, that looks weird. But when you stir it all up, it's actually really nice. I take this pot out of the Instapot and I bring it over to the stove, and I'm going to let this cool for probably an hour and a half or 2 hours. What I always like to do to it is I take like a little hamburger meat thing and I break everything up, including the liver, the chicken, the sweet potatoes, the carrots. I'm going to stir this and just kind of show you what it looks like. Isn't that beautiful? And yes, this is dog food, but it's also human food. You can use this as a casserole and eat it yourself if you want to. Look at the wonderful carrots and sweet potatoes in there. Spinach, peas. Someone's excited. Is your dog food just about ready? It's got to cool off. It's got to cool off first. So there it is. We let this cool and then we put it in Tupperware containers with lids and we freeze it. And this is what Ronnie eats. So whether it's chicken, ground beef, or turkey, it's actually cheaper to make your dog some healthy dog food than it is to buy a case of dog food. Here is the final cooling process that I use. I take it out of that hot pan after it's cooled for about 15 minutes. And then I put it into a large casserole dish, and I'll continue to cool this until it reaches a safe temperature to put it in the freezer. But isn't that pretty? Again, you can eat this. You know, my husband might ask what we're having for dinner, and I'll say, you're getting dog food. Ronnie, did you think that was funny? Did you think it was funny? Huh? He's just waiting for this to get done. It's too hot right now, buddy. Small piece of chicken. Here I came back with no finger. Trust me, your dog will love this. And you will too. Come on. Big jump. Big jump. This will show you how much Ronnie loves it. And hopefully this means your dogs will love it as well. He eats it all. Green beans, peas, carrots, sweet potatoes, of course the chicken, rice. It doesn't matter which protein we use. You can put in it whatever you like. Just make sure with your vet that it is definitely dog safe. Good boy, Ronnie. Was that delicious? Good boy, Ronnie. Good boy.